This video covers the initial configuration of the Support Automation component of Service Desk Manager. Support Automation needs to be configured in two places: during the Service Desk Manager configuration process and also in Options Manager from within the Service Desk Manager web interface. During the initial configuration of Service Desk Manager, you are presented with the option to install the Support Automation features. If you decide not to install the settings on the initial configuration, you may install Support Automation at any time by running the Service Desk Manager configuration process again. This involves running the command pdm-configure, which can be launched from the command prompt, or it can be launched from the Start menu. You'll notice the first option you will see provides various options for Support Automation configuration types. If you already have configured a main server, you will see additional options here that will allow you to install different Support Automation secondary servers, depending on your needs. However, in this video, we will only focus on the installation of a main server on the Service Desk Manager primary server. On this screen, you will define the host name or IP address that will be used to access Support Automation, as well as the ports that Support Automation will be running on. It's very important to note that you must define in these fields the exact server name that will be used to connect to Support Automation. For example, if you have created a DNS entry that people will use as the URL to access Service Desk Manager and Support Automation, you must define the DNS name here, not the server's name. The HTTP external port option must match the port that the Support Automation instance of Tomcat will be running on. When you define the port later in the Support Automation Options Manager settings, this is the URL that must be used. Under the socket server settings, there is another external port field. When connecting to Support Automation, an attempt will be made to connect to the server on this port first. A socket connection provides faster and more reliable connection to the server, and it is very important that when using desktop sharing. If the attempt to connect over the external socket port fails, the system will default to the external HTTP port, which will not perform as well. The socket internal port is used for communication between Support Automation servers if you have any secondary Support Automation servers installed in your environment. Bind to IP is used if you need to bind a specific IP address to the Support Automation server. This option can typically be left blank unless there is a need to bind to a specific IP address. Lastly are the Tomcat port, which, as mentioned, should match the HTTP external port and the Tomcat shutdown port. Please make sure that these ports are not in conflict with any other ports being used on the server. Now this finishes the Support Automation section of the pdm-configure command. After the initial configuration of Support Automation, you must now complete the process by configuring the Support Automation Options Manager settings. Log on to Service Desk Manager with an account that has administrator access and browse to the Options Manager folder. Then click on the Support Automation folder, and there are three different options here. The first option, SA DOM Server, this option, when installed, provides a dedicated DOM server for Support Automation. You will typically want to install this option. The second option is SA Primary DOM Server. This option will only need to be installed if you have installed your Support Automation main server on the Service Desk Manager primary server. If you have installed Support Automation on a secondary server, this option will not be installed. Lastly is the Support Automation URL option. This option needs to be installed to allow communication from Service Desk Manager to your Support Automation server. As you see here, you must define the server name and also the server port. The server name must match the same host name or IP that was defined during the configuration process. The server port must match the external HTTP port that was defined during the configuration. After installing these three options, you must log off Service Desk and recycle the Service Desk Manager services. Then you will be able to access Support Automation.